Thursday, April 16th, 2020, Maneko 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. This morning, I want to talk about how the Keynesians are coming. That's a reference to Paul Revere. Who was Paul Revere? For those who are not American, he was a patriot in the American Revolution. He's best known for his midnight ride to alert the colonial militia in April of 1775 to the approach of British forces. Some people argue he didn't warn people by saying the British are coming because it was supposed to be a secret operation. But be as it may, this operation, over 200 years later, doesn't have to be secret. And is it a warning just to Americans? No, it's a warning to everyone around the world, because the Keynesians are in charge of government policy and monetary policy. Before I go further into what the Keynesians are up to, I'd like to thank all the new viewers, new subscribers. I've noticed in the last 3 weeks, the views on my channel have increased substantially. So yes, thank you very much. Thank you also for all the existing subscribers and viewers for your support, your comments, your feedback about my channel, my videos. That helps a lot. A lot of times I get ideas for my reports from viewers and subscribers. And I'd like to also thank those who help me through PayPal and also Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel, there are details below in the description. So back to the Keynesians. So yesterday I was watching a video from Novara Media, very lefty YouTube channel here in the UK. I subscribe to them. Why do I do that? Even though I'm not left-wing nor right-wing, it's just good to know what everyone's thinking, in my opinion. There's an old saying, keep your friends close to you and your enemies even closer, right? So this caught my attention yesterday, this headline for this video. It said, we need to run massive deficits to solve this crisis. So it's an interview with Adam Tooze, Aaron Bastani. He's the guy who runs the channel. And the things this guy, Adam Tooze, said were quite amazing. They are completely immersed in this idea that government needs to help the economy, that there's no other way, that the only way is debt. And I had a look first to see Adam Tooze's background. So this is Adam Tooze, a British historian who's professor at Columbia University and director of the European Institute. Previously, he was reader in 20th century history at the University of Cambridge and Gurney Hart Fellow in History at Jesus College, Cambridge. After leaving Cambridge in 2009, he was for 6 years professor at Yale University as professor of modern German history and director of the International Security Studies, succeeding Paul Kennedy. So this guy's quite connected. He's been to all the Ivy League universities, to Cambridge. The other thing it points out here, it says he writes for numerous publications, including the Financial Times, London Review of Books, New Left Review, the Wall Street Journal, The Guardian, Foreign Policy, and Die Zeit. So there you go. That's his background. He is a globalist, I would say, left-wing globalist. And so what did he say that made me want to do a video about how the Keynesians are coming? One of the things he said in this video, and I'm going to put the video up in the cards and below in the description so you can listen to it. I'm not going to play it here in this video. But he said that it's paramount that we keep the debt and credit system going. He says it's paramount for people like us to keep borrowing and spending. He even said that if you have a cleaner or that comes to your house normally, but is not coming to your house now because of the lockdown, that you should keep paying him or her. And he said, if you have trouble getting the money to pay your cleaner that's not cleaning your house, then you should borrow from your credit card. I mean, it's crazy. He also points out that we need to run deficits. Governments need to run deficits. They need to increase the debt. It's paramount because the economy is being shut down. And the other thing he notes is that the way to carry that debt, because the guy who's interviewing him asked, how do we handle or deal with the debt later on? And he said, well, we do it through inflation. We run 4 or 5% inflation, and we write off the value of the debt. At the same time, he's saying we need to do this in order to keep people from losing their jobs. And he also says something that we need to stop the bond market from basically punishing governments for borrowing so much. And he said, we can do that here in the advanced countries of the West. Emerging markets can't do that because they're not in the they're lower in the hierarchy of currency manipulation, basically. That's what he said. So this is a guy who's supposedly leftist, socialist, who's trying to help people. At the same time, though, he's calling for inflation, which is a tax, and he admits that it's a tax. He's calling for people to keep borrowing and spending. It's crazy. That's his solution to this crisis. More and more debt. It says, doesn't it, solve the crisis with massive deficits. But they never talk about the fact that since the '08 crisis and even before that, we've been increasing the debt and deficits massively, and that this health crisis was just a trigger. They don't say that. So it's quite amazing. You need to listen to this video. It's not a long interview. It's only about 8 minutes. And you see how people are thinking. And this is not just in the UK. This is happening in the US. Yesterday, I was looking at the debt clock in the US. And I don't even look anymore at the current debt. I look forward to 2024. And I calculated that it's increasing. The debt clock is increasing by over 5 trillion a year. That's the rate in 2024. Can you imagine running 5 trillion deficits? So these Keynesians, they're not only present here in the UK, they're present in the US, and it doesn't matter if it's left or right. So they want to punish savers. They want to punish individuals, even though they come across as being lefty, socialist, as being helping workers. How did it work out in the 70s when you had really massive inflation for the workers, Mr. Tooze? Didn't work out very well. Here in the UK, they had 3-day weeks. They couldn't pay people to work the whole week. So this is what these people are looking for. And you need to be warned about this. That's why, yes, the Keynesians are coming. This is the amazing part about Adam Tooze. And it's to do with his personal life. And under his personal life, it says, Tooze is a grandson of the British civil servant and Soviet spy Arthur Wynne. So there you go. That says it all, in my opinion. Why? Well, because it was Lenin, who was a Soviet, of course, who said the best way to debauch a currency, destroy the bourgeoisie and the middle class, is through inflation. He also said that 99.9% of the people never realized they were being ripped off. And Adam Tooze knows people are being ripped off, and he's coming across as a solution for these people who he wants to rip off. He even says inflation is a tax. So there you go. Beware. And it's not only here in the UK. As I said, precious metals will protect some of your savings against this coming Keynesian inflationary onslaught. So to finish off, let's quickly look at the markets this morning. It's 8:30 a.m. London. Spot gold is at 1722, up about 7. Yeah, we are a little bit under pressure in gold. But don't forget, we just made a 7.5-year high a few days ago. So yeah, there will be a little bit of resistance here, but I think gold and silver are still doing relatively well. Silver's at 1550, up about 6 cents. The Dow is up about 200 points. Dow futures at 23,700. We were down over 400 points yesterday. It did rally off the lows, but we're still below that 24,000 level, which is the 50% retracement from the all-time high to the low on March 23rd. So that's a key level to keep an eye on. S&P 500 futures at 2808, up just under 1%. NASDAQ 100 future up 1%. Sterling is down 0.2% at 124.94. Euro 108.81, down 0.25%. And the dollar is a little stronger against the yen, up 1/3 at 107.78. So yeah, the dollar rebounded yesterday after dropping quite a bit the day before. To crude oil. Crude oil is interesting because my price feed from IG.com doesn't give me the front month crude oil, WTI. It gives me the June, right? And there is a May crude oil. So May crude oil is actually trading below $20 here. It is a delayed quote from the CME Group website. But the June crude is at almost $26, is at $25.70. So why is there such a big spread between the May and the June? It's called the contango. Well, it's because there's a glut of oil out there in the tankers, in the oil tankers, and there's nowhere to deliver the oil because there's no consumption. So the people who bought this crude, they're having to store it in tankers or wherever they're going to store it. And they get charged for that because the people who buy the crude usually don't own the ships, the tankers. It's the ship owners. And that costs money. So basically, the difference between the May price, which is around $20, and the June, which is $26, is the cost of storage. So that's what's going on in the oil market. Just wanted to explain that. So yeah, oil prices are still very weak, especially the front month. The bond market as well is still very weak in terms of yields. The yields are continuing to drop. Of course, that means the prices are going up. Yesterday, I think we dropped over 10 basis points, the 10-year yield. Right now, we're at 65 basis points. 30-year yesterday, I think it was at 140. Right now, we're at 127. That's not a good sign for the economy. So there you go. We're not out of the woods. Nowhere near to being out of the woods yet. So let's keep an eye on things. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, BitChute, Steemit, and DTube. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.